Before moving into the actual code, we'll take a look at the storyboard to get a feel for what the Clear Springs team wanted to do in their experiment. An overall overview of their experiment would be their main function that starts, and they want to initialize their systems. They need to check their systems. They need to do their light cycle. They need to water their plant, and then they need to store values. In the systems check portion, they need to initialize all the systems and then check if the camera is on. If it is, then they'll move on to check the various remaining peripherals and see if they're on. If they are not on, then this will add to the function at the bottom, and then we'll continue to repeat until all the systems have been checked and they are all on. In the water the plant section, they need to again initialize the systems to make sure that everything is working correctly. They need to check the water value using the moisture sensor. If there's enough water, then they'll end this cycle and move on. If not, they'll open the solenoid value for a given period of time that was predetermined for 3 seconds. They will record the date and time in memory so they have an accurate timekeeping of when the water was added, and then they will close this value and recheck the water and then move back through the moisture sensor and see if there's enough water. If there is, then they will end, and then if not, they will repeat this loop until they have enough moisture. For the light cycle, they're using 2 different kinds of LEDs, the red and the blue lights, to simulate night and day. They'll initialize these both at the beginning to verify that everything is working correctly, and then they'll turn the red LEDs on to simulate daytime, and the blue LEDs off because the red LEDs are the only ones on. Then they will have a timekeeping section where the timer will turn over every 12 hours. When the timer equals 1, once they reach the 12-hour limit, they'll switch so the blue LEDs are on and the red LEDs are off, and then again after the 24-hour cycle representing 1 day, they'll switch back to the red LEDs on and the blue LEDs off. In the storing data, they will again initialize the systems. They'll read their various sensor values. They'll have to store these values. Then they'll read more moisture sensor values, again given from the above section. Then they will store the moisture sensor values. They'll move into reading the CO2 sensor values and then storing these values also to the SD card. And they'll wait for 4 hours and then repeat this loop. And they're taking the picture. The system tells the camera to take a picture and store it, then wait 4 hours to repeat. This is a very basic concept. It just takes one picture, stores it, then waits, and then repeats over and over.